But here's another fun one we watched. Maximum Overdrive, 1986. Summary for this film: a group of people try to survive when machines start to come alive and become homicidal. Written and directed by Stephen King. His
And cocaine.
only
Yeah.
directorial film, like feature. And people have asked him why he hasn't ever done anything again, and he says, "Well, just watch Maximum Overdrive."
That's awesome.
I guess he would like to try not on like blasted out of his mind on cocaine,
Yeah.
because that's what he blames. But I don't know. Did you guys know this is there's this text that comes on the screen 2 times in the movie.
Mhm.
Did you notice the date? June 19th. This is like a Juneteenth movie, right? You can celebrate the freedom of black people, and also
With Maximum Overdrive, I'm sure
that's
they
when
love that.
Yeah,
that's when
Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive doesn't scream Juneteenth.
no, but you can just
Yeah.
couple them up, if you want to. Just like Die
All
Hard
right,
and Christmas, right?
whatever.
It did premiere July 25th, 1986, which is 38 years ago. So that's
Oh
a
wow.
side fact.
Yeah. Um, fucking this movie has one of my favorite lines ever from Stephen King. First line of the movie, "This machine just called me an asshole." Is hilarious, and I love that it's him. Um, I'll tell you what though, I love this movie, but I hate the soundtrack because I hate AC/DC.
I
Oh my
love.
god, dude!
I
Oh
love
my
the
god,
soundtrack. I've
it's
had it
so
on every
fucking
format.
much AC/DC, and I understand people like AC/DC. Fine. But why you gotta put it in such a good movie that I like? I mean, good movie
It's a good soundtrack. That's why.
objectively.
I think,
Uh,
and I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure a long time ago I read somewhere that they created the entire soundtrack for the movie.
yeah.
So
Who Made
it's
Who?
not,
The
it's,
album used to have a sticker on it that said it was the soundtrack to this movie.
yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty cool that you got a big band like that to like basically, you know, choreograph or, put their whole music.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you want to call that. I don't know what you would call that. I don't know the
They
term off the
basically
top,
took
but
songs, they collected
yeah.
songs from their albums and then they wrote like one new version of
I think
something.
Who Made Who is what the one
Yeah.
Mhm.
but yeah,
So
I'm just saying, like, that's a pretty big get, especially in 1986,
I guess Stephen King sang one of their songs to them or something and convinced them to be on. I'll tell you what, though, reading the trivia on this, if this movie didn't happen, Evil Dead 2 would not have happened. It
Yeah.
wouldn't have, because Stephen King was working with that De Laurentiis guy.
Oh yeah.
And if this movie, he wasn't working with him, he wouldn't have talked to him about how much he liked Evil Dead and got that financing for the second film. So I think this is a historical film and very important. Uh, I think it's I love Emilio Estevez. I think he's the best Sheen. I get, but they're all Estevezes. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I was surprised to learn that Charlie's name is Carlos Irwin Estevez, and Martin
Yeah.
Sheen's name is Ramon Antonio Gerardo Estevez. Holy shit, man! Uh, I think he's the best one, right? Is he your favorite of those three? Martin
Yeah.
Sheen, Charlie Sheen, Emilio. He's untarnished, I
I,
feel.
I like I like the Emilio and Charlie almost equally. I wish they were in more shit together. Honestly, I think they play well
Yeah,
together.
that is true.
Yeah.
I love Yeardley Smith in this too.
Mhm.
She's always in the ADR, man. Lisa Simpson through the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think there's a better feeling in this world than shooting a semi truck with a rocket launcher? I
Like a
bet that,
rifle.
yeah, whatever that thing they keep blowing up semis with, that feels like it would feel great. Like
Oh
I think
yeah.
that's probably like if Amelia really got to shoot that one, I bet that's a real reaction whenever he's like, yeah,
Explosions
fuck
abound.
yeah.
Yeah.
Floated in
Uh,
his pants after that.
there's a term there's a term this one the hitchhiker girl uses she says she smacks that dude after he tells the kid that his dad's dead, and then she says a little lesson in manners from the road twitch. Did he call her a road twitch earlier? And what the fuck is a road twitch? Is it a whore? Is that what he
Sounds
said?
like it sounds like another name for just like a girl that just rides and rides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
um, I
Don't
love
really
how
make sense.
I love how they end this movie, uh, where they put the text up, and it's kind of like it was a UFO the whole time, but maybe it was the meteor that we mentioned earlier. More than likely, it's cocaine. Who knows?
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, from what I understand, the short story, and again, it's been a long time since I read it, but I was reading up on it. The short story says that the UFO is in the tail of that comet that's going by.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they're mentioned together, I guess. And they don't really do a good job in the movie of explaining that part of it. So
Note: Poochie died on the way to his home planet.
I think they would have also, like, within the confines of that restaurant, like that diner, I think they would have ran into a lot more electronical problems, right? Like there would have been more things attacking them, right? Because everything seems to be attacking people. I don't know. Like the toaster, the fucking all the shit. I mean, but who's next?
What'd you give it, Frank?
Oh, I give it a 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, if you are, what did I write? I wrote something. If you like semis, explosions, or exploding semis, this movie's for you. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, I have a soft spot for this one as well because I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I've watched this movie more times than I can count over the years. I was a big Stephen King fan in my teenage years, but my dad read a lot of Stephen King, so I actually saw this movie probably before I should have because my dad really wanted to watch it. So I remember that the scene with the baseball diamond pretty well, with the Coke cans and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And because I was like, wow, I'm in for a movie that my dad doesn't normally let me watch, kind of thing. But over the years, I mean, compared to Stephen King's other works that come out later and adaptations that come, this one's not as polished, and it's definitely, he's like he said, not one of his own favorites that he was involved with.
Though, Randy?
What?
When he went to make this movie, he said something along the lines of he had a lot of bravado and shit. And he was like, if you want to see a Stephen King movie done right, I got to do it. It's the only way. Look at the movies that came before this. It's like all the classics, like all of them. And like, and then afterwards, he's like, I'm
never doing that.
I mean, his later work has won some Academy Awards, so I mean, it's as that turned into movies by filmmakers who grew up reading his stuff and loved it. So it's got a soft spot. You already, Frank, hit on most of the stuff I love. The characters are fun to watch. The idea itself is a really interesting idea, especially in that time period, right? What if these things attacked us? It's pretty crazy. I mean, there's a metaphor there for consumerism if you want to dig a little deep, but I don't think he was digging that deep, honestly. He was just like, I got this idea, man. We're going to fucking get him.
Pictured it.
Didn't he get hit by a car? Like, didn't he get hit by a car? Maybe that's like his real fear is like vehicles and shit.
Later in life, he did. That was in 1999. He got hit by a car. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
So, but I'd say, there are some bad things here. The dialogue's a little clunky. I mean, it's very cheesy. Production value, in some parts looks a little hinky, but I love all this shit. Trucks blowing up, fucking interesting characters stuck together, teamwork, and the ending is a little lackluster because they just throw up, like you said, we're not ruining anything. The movie's 38 years old. You're just throwing up a little thing, and we follow the survivors, and it's like, by the way, here's some shit that happened, and I'm sure they're fine. They
survived. The survivors are surviving.
Yeah,
to this day.
I love the AC/DC soundtrack. I always have. Like, so I've had it on several formats. I think there's some funny deaths in this that always make me laugh.
The dog with the remote control car in its mouth.
Yeah, the police car.
That one got me.
So And it's Stephen fucking King, man. You know, like even his bad stuff's good in my opinion.
Yep.
You know,
Right. I
so
mean, fuck.
I'm not gonna hem and haw on the things I don't like. Again, this one I grew up watching, so I'll always love it. It is what it is, and so I gave it a 7 out of 10.
That is
Yeah,
some
I'm in
fucking
the Randy camp on this one. This is a Saturday afternoon favorite on TV,
Yep.
USA, TNT, whatever, whichever one. Um, one of those things that sometimes you watch a movie so many times you just don't notice it. I didn't know until recently and this viewing that not only was Frankie Faison the driver of the fucking Green Goblin, the hey Stu, you're Ren Stu, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like him, and Giancarlo Esposito is the guy that gets fried by the video games.
Yeah. That's
I
pretty
had
crazy, right?
It didn't even look like him. Like it was
Yeah.
just maybe it was like just the entire get up.
Yeah. It's crazy
The
to
fucking
see.
glass breaks. And he goes, "Yo,
That
mama."
is the
Like what? Why did I wish like the video game would have called him something.
yeah.
oh god.
It's like
Ugh.
that didn't make sense,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, watch it.
Like,
Watch it.
yeah,
It would
it
have been
couldn't
something
like
real bad too.
no, it would have had to have been. It would have had
Yeah.
to have been real bad. I always was like, why did he say that to a breaking glass on a pinball machine?
Maybe it was
That
in. Maybe something like that was in there because I heard that they cut some shit whenever that kid gets run over with the steamroller. Evidently, they had a blood bag and it made it look like the kid's head got fucking popped. And Stephen King was like, "I love that. I love that." And they're like, you gotta cut
yeah,
that
you can't do that.
out."
Yeah. You can't have that.
I remember being
Huh.
a kid and watching that whole sequence unfold. Like it was funny when that coach got it in the balls with that can, but the way they cut that scene of him getting hit in the head and then the aftermath of it is
Yeah.
like that hit looked brutal.
Yeah.
Like just imagine getting a fucking can, a soda, shotgunned at you pretty much like it looked like a cannon fired that thing.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel like the dead guy was lucky he just had that big bloody spot. I mean,
Yeah.
it
You
should
think the
like
can
caved,
be
it should have
stuck
caved his
in? Yeah.
skull in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should
Yeah.
have caved it in, but that was super effective, that effect. I actually all the blood at the beginning of this movie looks freaking real. All the
Mhm.
chaos, like the kids going through the aftermath, the dog with the police car in its
Yeah.
mouth, poor dog. Um, what even that there's like this chick in lingerie hanging out her window. I think she was strangled
Oh
with
yeah,
her
Yeah.
phone cord,
Wasn't the cord? Yeah, the
her
cord.
headphone,
Yes.
You know, the
maybe.
one thing that I thought looked bad was the Bible salesman. Whenever the truck's backing up, it looks
Oh
like
yeah.
whenever he hits it, it looks like he jumps into it. That's the only thing I felt. I was like, what? Come on,
Yeah.
guys. You've been doing so good up to this point.
That dude was annoying as shit. One of my favorite performances is that waitress.
Oh, yeah.
She comes out and just like
We
Brad
made you.
Frankenstein that
Yeah.
line. She's like, "We made you." Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking meant that shit. Like that. It looks like walking around like Frankenhooker in that scene. Like it was just so stiff, but it just worked for some reason. Yeah, you liked Lisa Simpson. I did not. Shut the fuck up.
They put her in a lot, man.
goddamn shit out of
Yeah.
her. She's like an icon behind the scenes. Whatever. Ugh. Like just be quiet for like 10 minutes.
Curtis.
I
Is he
I love her.
dead?
I love her in this and The Legend of Billie Jean because
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
equally the annoying character in both.
I loved,
So,
I noticed it right out of the box how much they were like piping her in everywhere when it was like the group of them. She would be like, they'd be like, do some more lines. We need some more of you yelling for no reason. She'd be yelling when they got in the car originally. They jumped in the car and they sped off. She screams all the way around. They're in the car already.
yeah, she's like, yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Curtis, are you dead?
Yeah,
I need to get a shirt that says that.
yeah. It'll
Curtis,
just
are
be
you
her
dead?
face from that film.
Yeah.
But like, you know, as a kid, this was a 10. As a grown up, it's a 7.
Oh, we all agreed on
Like
this one.
there are some things that make sense that don't make sense, but like I still enjoyed this. I hadn't. It's not one that I watch that often anymore. Used to really like it. I don't know. I guess I just grew out of it. It's still awesome though.
Yeah.
You're right there, Randy. Even the bad Stephen King adaptations are good. I'll fight somebody over Dreamcatcher, man.
Me
I
too.
like Dreamcatcher.
I fucking love it, dude.
I
I've
never
argued
read the
with so
book,
many
though.
people.
It's like I guess like I only have.
John, it's exactly like the book. I read the book. It's
I don't know why
almost,
anybody had a problem
yeah.
with that. It has all the shit that's great in a Stephen King movie. It's got
It was just
the
a
young
weak
kids
movie?
that have a bond, then some traumatic thing happens. The same shit he incorporates in all of his stories. Basically his life, him growing up with his brother, his alcoholism, all the shit, And I think it's got a lot of fucking similar vibes to it, like for real, like very
Yeah.
similar.
It's even got really interesting thing in it where the guy goes he has a mind palace is what he calls it. He stores all of his information in there, and it's like he recalls stuff in it, remember?
Yeah.
And yeah, the aliens are trying to fuck with
Great
that.
characters too.
It's a really cool scene in the book. It's even more in depth, but I thought they did for explaining it in a movie, and it's like in the middle of this alien invasion movie. It's some pretty deep stuff, So
it was good shit. Great actors. That had the dude from what's that? Band of Brothers? Wasn't he in that? The red haired dude?
He's the main guy. Yeah, and
fucking
I
my
did
name's
it.
Earl. My name
I
is
did
Earl.
it, baby.